And St. Louis Gospel Hits, Hallelujah 1600 with KevyKev. Glad to be in the house with you. We're back for another Community Corner. It is a Community Corner with KevyKev on Gospel Hits, Hallelujah 1600. And we also say hello to our Facebook fam joining us online. How's everybody doing? Hey, we are so glad to be back with you for another one. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We're still we're working here. We're still getting some bugs out here, but we're feeling good, like we're cutting down on these bugs each week. So glad to be back with you for another show, and excited about it because a lot to talk about. So much going on in the community, as always. And I'm KevyKev, and please be sure to connect with us, as we always love to hear from you. Looking out for that. A lot to get started with, as just as recently we've had so much taking place in the city and the community. Certainly from a sports standpoint, it's been a lot of sports, which I'll always get to some sports things and talk about that along with the news. But I think the thing about sports that makes sports so special is sports has that ability to connect the community. I think it just has that about it. From high school teams and winning state championships, to the Battlehawks, to City SC, to, of course, the Final Fours on both the women and men's sides. It's just so much going on there, and we're glad to be part of it and talk to you about it. So first of all, though, I'm going to start locally here with some of the high schools. I love to do that. And by the way, as we get started here, I'm so excited. Of course, my man Ed is always here, Ed Grider, doing things, giving us the pictures and sounds, making us look good, sound good, the whole nine. Big shout out to Ed, and of course, he's putting it down with Zulu Sports. He's our video producer, making things happen here for us. And then I'm really, I am so, you all know I'm a teacher, right? So I'm so excited whenever I get to do something and I'm working with my students. It's on, all right? And so now I have one of my students here interning with me, okay? And, of course, she's representing the class of 2023. I'm talking about Aris Taylor. Aris is a senior at Carnahan High School and been a student of mine for the last couple of years. And she's a fantastic student and helping me out, getting me together with all my controls and buttons and social media, and she getting me together here. So, Aris, hey, welcome to the Community Corner. Thanks so much being in the house with us. And let me tell you about her, too. One of the things about her, too, when I heard her, this was during a time where we were having, of course, we were all virtual. Heard her speak, heard her talking. I said, oh, my goodness, this student, this young lady needs to be broadcasting. So we've just kind of kept working at it all this time, and she's interning with us, and we're so happy to have her here with us at St. Louis Gospel Hits and Hallelujah 1600, all right? We'll probably get to talk to Aris a little bit later here, too, as well. So starting with the high schools, first of all, big shout-out to them Wolverines at Vashon. I mean, give it up for them, y'all. Winning state championships on the boys and girls sides, and we're going to be working to, hopefully, maybe next week, we'll be able to connect up with the coaches and the teams and get them in here. So congratulations, winning state championships, Vashon High School on the boys and the girls side. On the boys side, Coach Tony Irons and the crew there, Tony winning his 6th state championship, 4 in a row for the V, his 7th overall. So big shout out to Tony, his coaching staff, and, of course, the guys on the Vashon boys team as they continue to make history with another state championship. They did it in fine fashion and got that victory for the school. Did a fantastic job. They beat Park Hill Central. Final score there was 64-37. They got the win there. And then the young ladies on the girls' side, they win their first state championship ever. Big shout-out to John. That's Coach John Albert and his girls on the team. They win their first, and a tremendous year they had getting that championship done. And, again, a big shout-out to them. They won their last 17, and they win a state championship. So that is awesome. And, again, to Vashon, They are the first school where the boys and girls have won state championships. First one to do it since 2003. The last one there to do it, Kickapoo, to win the state championship on the boys and the girls side. So congratulations to them on that. And Cardinal Ritter College Prep, I tell you, St. Louis was putting it down this year. The boys get the state championship on the Class 5 side. This is the 10th championship for Cardinal Ritter College Prep. 10 of them. And then something also, don't forget now, they won the state championship in football, right? So I know that was the first state championship in football. They had been there before, but that was the first. And so they also get the double success here, winning it in football and basketball. The basketball team getting it done. And, man, congratulations to them. I know they just ecstatic over there. And, over on the east side, our friends there, they call it the City of Champions. But I tell you, Cardinal Ritter College Prep, man, they on this side, man, they rolling with it. So, hey, congratulations. And, again, we're going to try to reach out to the Lions at Cardinal Ritter College Prep as well, and we got to get them on, okay? We got to make that happen. We got a lot of work to do, so I'm – Eris, Ed, and myself, we got to reach out, make these things happen. Luther, I was getting to see Ed. So Luther and St. Charles, the girls, the ladies there, get a championship. Outstanding job there. Man, they had put together a program. We had a chance to check them out a little bit earlier. Well, I guess that was last year. Ed may have seen them this year. But they, again, outstanding program. Now, we're going to have to make a connection there, too. Tremendous job there. Great work there. Getting it done, getting it in. And then Incarnate Word, another state championship there. That is 13 for them, right? 13. And 100, they've won 100 straight games. Coach Rolfe is over there and the Red Knights. They continue, man, they just got what do you call it? That's just a powerhouse. Yeah, that's a good way to call it. A powerhouse, man. Because he continues to get the job done there. He's a Hall of Famer now, too. He's in the Hall of Fame. And congratulations to the young ladies there at Incarnate Word. Again, and they've got that record. I think that right now they have the longest winning streak of a high school in the country with the wins that they have put together there. So, again, that's some outstanding work. And again, congrats to all the St. Louis teams because they really represented the area. They did a tremendous job, and man, they just had me ecstatic with our future doing what they did, representing the state so well, and that was awesome. And before we get to this first break, something happened though, to me while I was enjoying all of the action, and I have to say this, I just enjoyed all the high school action, right? And this was the semifinal on Friday. He's going there. Yeah, I just want to put it out there because I want to get some thoughts and I want to give Eris some work on this. And probably, my great friend TD El Amin just stepped in. TD, how you doing over there?
I'm doing well.
Oh, let me make sure I get your mic. You doing okay?
I'm doing great.
Great, just fantastic here. And see, TD, you'll give me. Here's where I'm just going to congratulate all of our young people, our young folks, for what they did at all the schools winning these championships. But TD, this happened to me, and see, you being, a former elected official, state representative, you can see where I'm going with this. I'm listening to the game, TD. This was in the semifinal game on it had to be Thursday. No, it might have been the state championship. It was down to the last four. I'm listening to the girls' state championship, and it was Thursday. I know it was Thursday because the championship was on Friday the next day, Class 4. I hear a commercial, TD, for a firearms business, and they're talking about, you can get the firearms. They even mentioned the AR-15s, and I'm saying to myself, TD, wait a minute, this is a high school basketball game, and that just, I just want to know what the community, get at me on Facebook. I want to know what you think because what it made me do, TD, was also, I said, once I heard that, I went and looked at the MISHA, that's Missouri State High School Activities Association, their policies on what type of sponsorships you can have during high school events, athletic events. And they mentioned you can't have any alcoholic products being advertised, can't have any tobacco products being advertised, you can't have anything related to gambling. You also can't have anything related to adult products of that nature. But there was nothing on this particular issue. And I just thought in the times that we're in, and again, everything's about safety with our young people, and I just thought advertising AR-15s in a high school state basketball game on the radio, it just, something about that, I said, I'm going to put this out there, and I just want to hear what the community thinks about that.
Definitely. When you look in the championships, I assume that we're out state, right?
Yeah, this was out state.
We already have a gun culture.
Oh, I don't have. Okay, I'm sorry, TD. I did that.
That's
Repeat
okay.
that, TD.
We already have a gun culture, and I'm supposing that the tournament was held out state.
Yeah, it was
And
in
I went over in the
Springfield.
gun culture, just everywhere, urban, rural, but even more so in the rural areas and the outstate areas where, guns are just that, they're selling cars and they're giving guns away as part of the sale. So even more so in those areas where it's just acceptable. You look at videos and you see that they're training children at a very young age, which I'm not opposed to, teaching them safety and things like that. But, I don't think there's no place. But it's to be expected. I can see where it doesn't make sense because, we got these things that are going on with schools and guns, and it's just like a terrible mix, and you have a tournament.
Yeah, that's what it's for the state of Missouri, and that's what I'm saying. Is this a good look? Is it a good look to have? And this was like a sponsor that at the end of the game, they mentioned this particular business, again, in their firearms, their ammunition and firearms, and again, they specifically mentioned AR-15s in the commercial, and this is during a break in the games. So I just wanted to put it out there. I love to get some feedback from the Facebook family on what are your thoughts. I just want to know what you think. Is that the place? Is that a good look for high school athletics that we do have guns advertised in the game? That was my question. And I did even go a step further. I did send an email to Misha. I just wanted to want to know, is that acceptable? I haven't heard back from them, but I did do that. So,
and unfortunately, they'll probably just take one incident where something would happen, So, but that's just, you look at the politics of that. You look at outstate. I'm sure you have a sponsor that you can connect to, an elected official or a body of politics that they're not going to say anything about that. So.
Okay, and again, I just asked because they do have specifics, as I already mentioned, alcohol, tobacco, gambling, adult products, what have you.
Yeah.
Those things, lottery, those things are mentioned specifically that you can't have that. So I just want to know what the community thought. So maybe we'll get some feedback about that. We'll check back, or I might get a chance to connect with some of our fam on Facebook, and we'll see what comes up. So, all right, that's, of course, TD KevyKev. It's the Community Corner. We're going to take a time out, come back, and talk to TD about current topics. Of course, TD is the publisher of the St. Louis Argus, so he knows what's taking place in the community and news. We're going to get some thoughts from TD when we come back. This is St. Louis Gospel Hits. Hallelujah, 1600. Okay. Thanks, TD. All right, so Facebook fam, hey, I want to get at me. I just want to know. I want to know what do you think? Is that the right place? I'd be interested to see what someone thinks about it. I'm just curious. Kayla had some thoughts. What was the comment? You see the comments? Kayla has some comments for us on that topic. Why is that? Kayla wants to know, why is that expected at a high school game? Yes. Okay, and see, can you answer that, TD? Why is that expected?
Well,
You want to do that on record?
We can come back. We come back. Oh, we come back. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Let me. Okay, Kayla, thanks for that, and we're gonna come to that in just a minute. Ed, I want to make sure I don't erase anything. If I just hit file, it'll be good, right? If I hit file and I want to make sure I don't erase our segment.
We're gonna write it down.
We're gonna write it
It should be
down.
saved in there, right?
It should be. Well, I hit. I'm supposed to go to a new segment here, so
Yeah.
I don't think we lose it. I don't think we do. But when in doubt, we check it out, right? We'll get a check. Are you able to see that, Aris? All right, you can see those. Okay, all right. So, TD, this is one of my students. This is from.
Hey, how you doing?
Aris
Okay,
Taylor.
I'm
TD,
assuming this
LMU.
is yours, right? Okay. Nope. No problem. It's good.
So,
What school do you go to? Cornell. Okay, great.
Kayla's my daughter. She's checking us out here. Thank you, Kay.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
I
It
won't-
stays up in Adobe where it is, what it is. Untitled, what is that, 6 or 5 or whatever that is? 3,
What is
4?
that? Is that
Untitled 4, yeah.
Untitled 4. So,
Yeah.
so me going to file new will not affect
It
it.
won't affect it. Nope.
Got-
nope,
okay.
Nope.
All right.
Keep on rolling, bro.
We'll just keep rolling then. All right.
File new and then go ahead and then
File.
I'll come in. I'll show you how to save it
Okay.
down to what's the name?
Okay. All right. Thanks, BJ. All right, we'll keep going then. All right, we're gonna roll with it then, Ed. We good. I think we good. Well, we can't. We okay.
Come back in the studio.
We got to get her on. So we had to get Kay on the phone here. We'll have to work that. Yeah, because we got it happening here with the. I appreciate that too. Okay, well I tell you what, we'll do that. Okay, here we go. St. Louis Gospel Hits, Hallelujah, 1600 Community Corner with KevyKev, and glad to be with you. Thank you for being with us on the Community Corner. We are so glad to be back in the house with you for another show, another day, another episode. It truly is a blessing. And I was asking the question before the break. I was asking for some feedback from our Facebook family, our Facebook fam, about again, I was listening to the broadcast. This was a radio broadcast of the semifinals, the state basketball semifinals, and I heard a commercial advertising firearms in the game, a specific mention of AR-15s, and I just asked, what does the community think about that? Because again, like I said, other items were mentioned as banned by the state, by Misha, as not being things that should be advertised in high school events, and again, that included alcohol, as you would expect, tobacco, gambling, adult products, all these things were mentioned as these are banned. You cannot. However, this firearms sponsorship was in the game. And I just asked, hey, I just want to know what the community thinks. What's the feedback? What's the thought on it? And we got, Eris, we got a comment from Kayla who says, she says, as an educator, that makes her feel unsafe, and why is that expected at a high school game? That was Kayla's question from the line there. TD, any response to that?
I
Kayla's
use the
question?
term expected, and it shouldn't be expected. It's understood in context of the environment that you're in and how that environment embraces the gun culture. But I'll tell you this. You take that tournament and you put it down to Rashawn, and I can promise you the mission officials would probably respond different, in terms of what is expected. So you have a gun culture in the rural areas, and then you have a gun culture here in the urban areas, and those dynamics are treated differently. So where in the rural areas, it's okay. There's this free flow of guns. But you get down here in the urban areas, policies would change relative to that. And that kind of rolls over even into the politics of guns. When you talk about crime, you can't talk about what's happening with crime in St. Louis City. But in the rural areas and the outstate legislators who support just, hey, everyone should have guns, we should loosen gun legislation, and at the same time, you want to say that you're combating crime, you're actually feeding it. And it's this type of mentality that you see in outstate, where it's guns, guns, guns. But then, you look at how has that gun culture and the acceptance of that contributed to the mindset even more so of what's happening here in St. Louis City in terms of the crime. So, it seems like it's small, but it's very big and it's relative in terms of understanding that whole culture in terms of them not saying anything at a basketball game with a gun sponsor. It really speaks to the mindset of outstate policy, whether it's high school, whether it's in the halls of Jeff City.
So you're saying you couldn't imagine, taking a Vashon just won state championships and on their broadcast they have a gun shop advertised in the game. You couldn't imagine anything.
No, not at all. Because the reality for me, as I see it, is like, I'm for guns as long as the guns are not in the hands of certain people. So I always say, if African Americans want to change the gun laws, everybody sign up with every black person sign up with the NRA, and you'll see them begin to change. It takes me back to a scene in 1968. Not that I was there,
right?
But you go back.
But I was around, man.
And there was a scene. I think it was in a California assembly, and I think that Reagan was the governor, and you had the Black Panthers came in, and they were armed. So when black men are armed, watch how people treat policy and embrace policy. Just like, you can see a Caucasian walking on the street with, and you expect him to be exercising Second Amendment right, and you won't touch him. Watch an African American with an AR-15 who's exercising his right, and I promise you the police is going to stop him. So, like I said, these laws would change once we when we engage them a little different. But yeah, I definitely don't agree with that. I don't want guns in the schools. There's a lot of stuff I don't want in the schools.
No, absolutely.
That's in schools right now, but that's
absolutely
neither here nor there.
And again, and that's why I brought the discussion up, because this wasn't a pro game. We're talking about, this was a high school game, and again a state championship. So this is all over the state. So
and I appreciate you bringing it to their attention.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I was like, I'll be honest, like, did that really did I hear that? And then, not only, how it works in advertising, you will say, okay, here's a sponsor X. And then at the end of the game, we like to thank all of our sponsors, and here's sponsor X for their support of the game. And you mentioned this firearm and ammunition. So, I mean, like you said, it wasn't like a slip up. This was a key sponsor. So that's why I just said, I said, Kev, what do you think? Man, ask the community, what do they think of that? Okay, is that acceptable? Is it a bad look for us? Is it a good look? I want to know. I'm not gonna put my opinion. I want to know. It's real easy. What do you think? Facebook fan, you can still chime in. Aris is here. We'd be glad to get some feedback from you on that. And since we have TD here, TD is the publisher of the St. Louis Argus. And by the way, Kayla, thank you again, Kay, for the question. Thank you so much, and I hope we get more. Thank you very, very much, TD. So tell me about when someone goes to the Argus, to the website, and give them the site. What's the site again?
The site is www.stlargusnews.com.
Okay. Yeah. What's on the headlines this week at the Argus?
It was something very interesting. I'm going to put this on the headlines for this week, and it's really following up what's been going on with the. I think last time we talked about Kimberly Gardner, Circuit Attorney's Office, and the challenges that she's facing from the Attorney General in that move. But what you're beginning to see is there's an attack. There's a senator by the name of Bill Eigel. And he's sponsoring a bill that's get rid of them all. And this is very interesting because I think before we talked about how sometimes we can be divided. We find ourselves as African Americans divided, and sometimes we're siding with interests outside of our collective interests. And what happens is, at some point, and history has taught us, at some point, we can be divided, and eventually, once our collective unity is divided, they would then eventually come after us all. So, you look at the story of Africa, you could not have come into Africa as strong as it was, and what happened is, hey, you got the tribe of Kev battling the tribe of Ed. So you have one of the colonizers come in and, hey, look, I got some of this, I know you got some issues with the tribe of Ed, so I'm going to support you in exterminating him, right?
And then the tribe of Aris here is an ally of them, so you want to get them before they get you. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then what happens is I'm going to turn on everybody, because who's going to come to your aid when it's time to fight me. So, I think that's what we find throughout history, and it's a shame that we repeat those things. So now what we're seeing is an effort to come out against all black politicians, especially when you look at the hierarchy of elected officials in the city of St. Louis. You're looking at the mayor, you're looking at the circuit attorney. The reality is their thought process is get rid of them all. And that's what you're seeing with the Senator Bill Eigel. So I would like to see moving forward that we look at this and understand that our unity is our salvation.
Okay.
If we cannot be, I don't have to like you, I don't have to get along with you, but I have to be unified. If you're saying that you're for our people, I'm for my people, let's set aside what we have here and let's unite. Because everybody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Everybody, and hopefully what's happening now is a lesson moving forward, because I'm telling you, they want this city back. What do you mean they, TD? Who you talking about they? We know when we say
who is they?
Yeah, who is they? The they who is not, the they is those who have traditionally held power, who don't have those positions of power. And you see a lot of things that are happening in St. Louis. I don't want to have to go through this black elected official, that black elected official, because you might ask something for black folk. And I just want to do what I need to do without any impediment. So there are interests that would like to take this city back from the reins of the black politicians. So,
I mean, if you look at things that the city. We're on a nice roll here right now. I mean, you've got look at what's taking place with City SC, the Battle Hawks. You've got the Cardinals and the opening day about to start. Just so many things are happening. Everybody's happy about the new stadiums, the wheel.
Definitely.
We've got our aquarium. I mean, of course, the base of everything is the arch, and so the city we're on a move right now.
Definitely.
It's people are feeling good about the city. The challenge right now, like you say, which is coming up, which is putting a cloud over us all right now, of course, is the safety, the crime issue right now.
Right.
But the city itself, people are feeling good. I mean, just the last 2 weeks, you probably had, 200,000 people coming into the city. And of course, that's revenue. So that's good.
Yeah.
You kind of define they for us.
Oh yeah, and we're moving into in terms of the region, a very powerful position, even more so than that 25% or so that we contribute as a region to the state coffers. So you're going to see more of an effort to control the politics. So when you see a strengthening black power dynamic, it's always going to be something that works against that. And so for those people who align themselves with that without understanding, what happens on the back end, I just say sit back and you just watch. We see all this good stuff happening, and I said before that if you have good inputs, you have good outputs. So if you invest in something, you're going to have these type of and you have an emphasis and a focus on it, you're going to have these type of successes. And I'm trying to tie this into what has happened with the circuit attorney.
Yes.
That if you actually invest in that office, if you're not having good inputs, you're not going to have good outputs.
Okay.
So that's just a whole nother topic for probably a whole nother time. Because when people talk about services, when you look at our community and you look at our schools and things like that, if you're not investing into them, you're going to have what you have.
Absolutely.
Schools fall, communities fall, and eventually somebody's going to come in, like what's happening with development, and they're going to take it. So, which makes you wonder, is it intentional, or some of these things by design? And we seem to forget that some of these things can be by design, have been by design. Whether it's the redlining and things of that sort. We're not just pulling this out of the sky. History attests to it.
Right.
So.
No, you're right. And speaking of that too, there's a really an excellent blog. Sylvester Brown, longtime writer with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the St. Louis American, and I can remember his days back with when he had his own Take 5.
Yes.
And tremendous writer, outstanding writer, excellent writer. And he and his blog had excellent writing on I think he did a really fair job of just pointing out all of the factors, all the issues surrounding Circuit Attorney Gardner and of course the Attorney General's office, Bailey, the governor, and just how this is, all the political effect of it. And then he goes into looking at effectiveness of the job. He's also looked at past circuit attorneys that have been in that position. And I think it's really a balanced summary of where we are. And I really recommend anybody to go online and take a look at Sylvester Brown's blog.
Oh, definitely.
On that.
Definitely. Reading that, and I have the utmost respect. Those are people who I look to, and I look toward their perspective, because their perspective is so deep and well thought out, and then they're bringing the wisdom, and they're bringing an experience with having witnessed over time. And I think that's the problem with some of us younger folk sometimes. We come into a position and we negate the importance of the institutional knowledge that is there, So you have people like that I always draw from, and I read. And actually, I spoken with him a few days ago just to commend him on his perspective. Like I said, you don't have to tell me what to think. Just give me some good information to chew on, and I can arrive where I need to be at. So, I definitely encourage people to read Sylvester Brown's blog.
Yeah, he does a tremendous amount. And again, even going back to the whole situation with the firearms advertisement at the game, I won't tell anybody what to think. Not that I have that ability to do that anyway, but I just want to know what do you think? And I think if you present it out there and you give it to people, they have a mind. They can decide.
Sure.
They can decipher it. And,
sure.
Sure,
definitely.
That's it. And this gets into something else that's been on my mind. And like I said, having our intern Eris here, and because I know she's a senior and I'm not. Eris, are you 18? Are you old enough to vote yet? She's not. She will, but you will be soon, right? Okay. Tell you one more. So she's 17 now.
Okay.
And you're a politician, a former politician. And again, from teaching in the high school for years, I'm amazed, TD, at how the politicians, the elected officials, to me, they kind of overlooked a population. Like this young lady, 17, 18-year-olds who will be registering to vote.
Yeah.
They don't seem to go after them. Why? Those are votes lost, right?
That's odd to me, because when I would look, and I would tell people, start looking at the 4th, 5th grade. If you look at a term, if there's a term limit of 8 years, right? That means that you need to start looking at her when she's 10 years old, because in 8 years, if you're looking to run for Senate and you're in a certain position that has an 8-year term, that means that you need to start now. And she's going to remember, or he's going to remember, that you came into the classroom, you took the time, and you've invested. They're missing it. It's just like the prison system. You take people, they can't vote, they're in the prisons. Those people have families.
Yeah.
You don't think they have families that vote? So even from a political perspective, they're missing it. And if you really just put in the information, you grab them, because I would always see children, and my mind would automatically start saying, okay,
those potential votes there.
Yeah,
right?
oh my goodness, So
Right.
you look for that. So why they don't look for it, I think people are just missing a mark. I said before to somebody, in context of history and activism, I'm relatively old. When you look at the Freddie Hamptons and people like that, them guys were doing it at 16.
That's right.
18, 21, that was the average age of a revolutionary. Not doing something in student council, which is important. They were battling the FBI and the governments. So we need to look at history, and we need to begin to pour into our children. And from a political perspective, not to control. See, part of the problem with politics is always we're looking to control. Yeah, I want to empower her, but I want to make sure she's under my wing. So
she votes the way I want her to vote, right?
No,
That's what I want.
Yeah, give them what we have, give them what we don't have, and step aside and watch these young folk just do some great things, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, that's it. And if you look at Stacey Abrams down in Georgia, it looks like she had an approach that way. Just with the people, the young folks, she was able to register to vote. She understood. She got it.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Just looking at Missouri and looking at St. Louis, I don't see that. I don't see it. Why don't I see that?
It takes time, because one, we think that children and people are not intelligent enough to really see. There's an energy that people feel. And it takes work to want to, one, you got to want to connect with our people. Two, you got to really love connecting with our people. With some people, it's just kind of a job. I'm going to do what it takes to stay in this job. But you really have to love and want to take that extra time outside of your legislative duties or whatever it is to connect with them and pour into them. You know, and they can sense that once a child, a young adult senses that you're sincere and that you're genuinely concerned about pouring into them, man, I mean, you can work wonders. So, and I've seen some young people that I've been able to witness grow, and you give them whatever you can, and they're just doing amazing things, and you sit back, and so that just excites me just talking about it, because we should be talking about civics. We should talk about political engagement and teaching them, I'm gonna say the game, but teaching them the process, and giving them an opportunity. One thing I witnessed as a representative, they had younger Caucasian kids doing interning. And it wasn't just, well, go get my copies, go do this. It was real stuff, teaching them the process.
Yeah, they
so
were
what do you
really
think,
working it.
Yeah, what do you think when she gets 21 and not or 18 and whatnot, and you get to a point where after you get out of college at 22 or whatever, and you're working as a lobbyist at a $90,000 contract, $100,000 contract, and I'm seeing these things. Sometimes people prepare their children better than we prepare our children in these matters. So I would like to see that, and that's my call out to any elected official, any business leader. Get involved in mentorship. Get into these schools. Don't let it be necessarily tied to you getting funding to do it. Do it out of your love.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't care. Just take one person that you see. I see this young lady right here, and it's something about her. There's a seriousness about her. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if you look around 5-6 years from now, and that she's in some big law firm or she's has some office or something like that. Well, I said it here on this show. Remember, I said I called
that you
it.
said that, because I know she's gonna study law. You see, and so that he sees.
See,
it.
Look. There it is.
There it is.
That's
there
the
it
next
is.
circuit attorney.
And you know, let me ask you this too, because if you don't make the effort to reach out to our future young voters, our teenagers, our young adults, if you don't make the effort, when you see like what we recently saw here in St. Louis, a 12% voter turnout, can you connect? Is there a correlation there?
Oh, definitely. When you look at the numbers and you look at the lack of outreach and you look at voter apathy, they don't have anything to be excited about. You know what I get excited about? An 18 to 21-year-old person, a 25-year-old person that's running for office is just like a person who's sincerely concerned about their future and understands that they get excited. You got to give them something to be excited about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? They don't, you know, I'm not saying they don't want to see people like me, but I got a lot of this. TD's had his time. We need some younger energy. And some of us older people, we want that. Now, there's some of us older people who don't want that. You know, so until you get that youthful energy, that youthful, innocent perspective that's unencumbered by a lot of the political hurt and the damage and effects of people who've been in office for years, and that's what you're seeing. We need some of that. We need some of that honest energy that no matter what you do, right or wrong, we know that you're sincere. And I can work with sincere. Yeah.
And I think the future, they want that. They want sincere, and I think if we're not sincere, they pick it right off. They know you can't pull the wool over their eyes. They know
that's
if
the
you're
problem.
not sincere.
That's the problem with the people in the streets, man. You think these young guys don't know? They may not be able to conjugate a verb. I promise you that they can spot insincerity. I was gonna say BS, but insincerity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Family
it's
show,
something.
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
they can see it, and when they see it, they just But I've seen once you've engaged them. I've seen when you've excited youth and you've engaged them that you can move things. I've seen it. I've seen at a point when I was in office and people would try to campaign in areas that I was somewhat known because I loved it. I didn't do it just because it was politics. I'm a kind of a kid at heart, so I like it. If I see some guys out there playing basketball, I'm getting out there with you.
Go shoot with them.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean double dutch without tripping. I'll trip, but I'll try it. So you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely we need that, Kev. And we need to have some young folk. I like to see them on the show, get their perspective. You know,
believe me, we gonna be hearing from Aris here. Absolutely, That's my game plan. She
Yes,
don't
sir.
know it, but that's the game plan here. So, all right. So, TD, I know you're a hip hop head, right? I know you have a great appreciation for hip hop, don't you?
These days, it's a little different.
Or even I'll say even back in the day, you had
Oh
it.
yeah, definitely, I do.
Right. So we're Billboard recently came out with the as we celebrate 50 years of hip hop of this list. Ed and I kind of been going back and forth on
okay.
some of the folks on the list, who's on there, who should be on, who should not be on it. I kind of want to know. It'd be great to get your perspective, and of course to get Eris as a new generation hip hop
Okay.
head what she thinks, and you as well. So we're gonna kind of look at that list and get some thoughts, and we welcome to get some feedback from our audience as well. All right. So TD, thanks so much for that insight, and hang on with us here because we're coming back with more. This is St. Louis Gospel Hits, Hallelujah 1600. Stand by. We're coming back. All righty. I'm gonna stop this and. Facebook fam, we're gonna get some thoughts. I'd like to get some of your thoughts too when we talk about this list. Here.
Man, what did he say, man? Because sometimes you talk to people and they say, "Yeah, I like old school," and they'll tell you something like,
well, this let me.
they'll probably say Kanye
Yeah,
West like old school.
Right.
Kanye West, how's that old school?
Let me see here. I gotta go back to my list here. As Facebook fam, we coming back at you with this list. Ed sent me my list, and I'm going back to it here. Let me go. Here.
If I'm making faces, it's just because I'm drinking a ginger water shot. So.
Oh, Ed typed it out. My man. Look at
Oh,
Ed. Ed organized here.
Okay.
Producer. He got it together here. See?
All right.
Oh man, this is
Okay.
this is
Okay.
this
Now,
is the see,
where does this come from?
this is Billboard.
Oh, okay.
Billboard picked the top 50 hip hop artists of all time. Okay. The greatest of all time, aka the GOAT. Distinguished in the early, okay. It's Billboard and Vibe, all right, ranking the top 50 greatest rappers of all time as part of this. Okay. All right, yeah, that's it. Okay. And then they make some comments. This is something that Ed and I talked about. They also, in determining these rankings, Billboard and Vibe, the editorial teams opted first to limit the rap arena to North America. So, for example, as estimated, this timetable as is British rapper Slick Rick isn't on lists. We also now the interesting thing about Slick Rick not being on the list because of they were trying to keep it North America, right, Ed? And they didn't put him on the list. I look at the list. Look who's at number 8 on the list, right? Drake. Last time I checked, I mean Drake. Canada is in North America, but the whole point was they were trying. I guess that's how they will justify it, that Canada is in North America. You know, was that what they will say? And why Slick Rick is not on there? Because we all know Drake is from Canada, but he made the list. I'm not saying, and I think he should be on the list myself, but I also think Slick Rick should be on the list.
I see an addition already. This listen,
you know, it's
okay. No,
and,
I see it. I see it.
So, you know, look at this.
Oh, we got a lot of flyers.
Yeah, let me turn your mic. You have mic 4, right? Your mic number and TV's 4, so you're gonna be mic. Let's see, you should be mic 2. Mic 2 there, right?
You number 1?
Yeah, 1,
Yeah,
2,
that's me.
3, 4. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get back in.
I do have a list of some omissions that we had
Eris,
discussed.
if you want to get in there, Eris, we got another mic over here too. If you want to get in on some of the action here, you're welcome to. If you see one of your favorite, you might want to take a look. If you want to take a look at the list, yeah. Okay, there you go, right there. Okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah, if you want to get in, go hop on. Go put in.
Yeah, you come right over there. So she'll be on mic 3 then if she's over here, right? She'll be right here. All right, Facebook fam. Okay, you got him here. Okay.
You need this?
All right, so yeah, we all set to go here then. Here we go. All right, here we go, y'all.
Oh, did you start recording?
No, I haven't yet. These are the
criteria.
These are the ones that you thought should be.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's some of the ones that we discussed.
Yeah.
So that's the criteria.
Okay. Body of work. They looked at the body of work.
Body of work.
Mm-hmm.
So certifications, singles, gold,
Okay.
platinum certifications, cultural impact, influence. You say how the artist work fosters the genre's evolution, longevity,
Yeah.
lyrics. That made me roll my eyes.
I made you the lyrics there.
But
Did
Floor.
did
Who
NWA
was
make
that?
this list? Did NWA make
Lyrically,
this
who
list?
was number one?
what?
Lyrically, you said who was at the top?
That's one of the
Oh, we
I was
criteria.
wondering. Okay.
That's
So you had
did
a problem
NWA
with that.
make that list? Did NWA make the list? I'm just.
No, see.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna
So,
do one thing. I'm gonna
Basically, the list was solo artists only.
solo artists only.
So they took like some prominent rappers from groups and they just put maybe one artist on that list. So like for example, a Tribe Called Quest, they only put Q-Tip on the list. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. Okay.
Or like what's the
Black
group?
Thought.
Black Thought from the Roots.
Mhm.
Yeah. Instead of putting the Roots on there, they just put Black Thought.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was UGK.
Mm-hmm.
They put Bun
Bun
B
B.
on there.
Right.
But, you know, a lot of people would say, well, Pimp C was a better rapper than
Right.
Bun B, but Pimp C wasn't on the list.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, the South didn't really get a lot of love.
Yeah.
on the
Back.
list.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it was a lot of stuff that when I heard the list, I
Right.
was like, man, Kev, this list is trash.
You breaking down the dynamics and the metrics and all that stuff. You go deep with it. You know. So.
Because I mean, we're gonna put together our own list.
Yeah.
For the 50
Okay, yeah,
years.
yeah.
But I just wanted to kind of discuss, and it kind of I was inspired by when you were here the first time, and even the discussion that we had about us controlling our own media. And this is one of the prime examples that you got a corporate
Yeah.
media organization that's
Yeah.
controlling
Yeah.
a message like
Yeah.
this. And they're telling us, okay, this is what's popular in hip hop, but like some of the choices, the people that really listen to hip hop in the streets will say, man, why did they pick some of these choices?
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted, since he was the man in the city,
Yeah.
hip hop, he won't tell, but he was the guy that ushered in hip hop in the city.
Yeah.
And just kind of want to get his thoughts on this list.
I want to see KevyKev with an afro.
Oh man,
I'm gonna put that when we do the 50th of.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one. I have to show you one. Yes, sir. Okay, it looks like Eris had to leave us here. That's okay. We appreciate her and all her work today.
And Kayla said, telling us our culture.
Telling us our culture.
Yeah, that's probably the main thing that really made me, I would say, a little bit upset. Because, again, where is the outlet that we have of our own where we can say, okay, this represents us?
Yeah.
Right.
Those are dwindling nowadays. So
Let's get to it.
yeah, let's
Because
get to it.
Kayla's ready. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. St. Louis Gospel Hits, Hallelujah 1600. Back at you. All right, our final segment here. And again, this has been a really fun show tonight. This has been a fun show. Talking with the publisher of the St. Louis Argus, T.D. El Amin. And, of course, we've got Ed Gratter, okay, with Zulu Sports, and Ed is here taking care of our video. Again, big shout out to Aris Taylor, our intern who was helping us out. Aris had to get to another assignment, but we thank her so much for being with us tonight. But here's what we have, fellas. The 50 greatest rappers of all time. We're looking at this list as, of course, we are celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. This list comes to us via Billboard and Vibe. And they went through a list, selected the top 50 of all time. And I know some of us might have some questions. Like any time you put together a list like this, you're going to question and say, well, should this person be on there? And someone who was omitted that should be there. Okay? And just for the record, as they begin to tell you how they put this list together, how this was created, how it was ranked, they looked at they say the body of work, and these are all in no particular order either, by the way. The body of work, charted single albums, certifications, gold, platinum, cultural impact. How do you measure that, Ed? The influence, you can measure that, right? Also, how the artist's work fostered the genre's evolution, We'll look at that, TD. And then longevity, yours at the mic, lyrics. How you going to determine that one, TD, the lyrics? Okay, storytelling skills and flow, vocal prowess. So as we look at this, pull my list here. I'll just give you the top 10. We'll start off. Okay, coming in at number 1, this all time, is Jay-Z. In the number 2 spot, Kendrick Lamar. At number 3, Nas. Number 4, Pac. Tupac's got that slot locked down. Eminem ranks number 5. Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls at number 6. Maybe a surprise for number 7, Lil Wayne. He's got the spot there. Number 8, Drake still making hits today at number 8. Number 9, Snoop Dogg coming in there at the number 9 spot. And rounding it out at number 10, Nicki Minaj. That's the top 10. And we can go through 11 is Kanye West. I won't go through all of it. And Andre 3000, Rakim, LL Cool J. Cool J's at 14th all time. So as you glance through this list, TD, anything kind of stands out to you? I know Ed is biting at the bit here. We'll get to him in a second, but anything stands out?
Yeah, definitely. I would have to, and I like Kendrick Lamar simply because I like his style, just like with J. Cole. They're simple brothers. They're brothers who have a conscious message.
Yeah.
But for me, I would not have him at 2, and there's no way that I would have Nicki Minaj at 10 above a Kanye West. But to my surprise, I would have to move Drake up, and I wasn't a big Drake fan. But the guy has his body of work just keeps growing and growing, and so I would definitely have to move him up. I got to move Kendrick Lamar out, just rounding off the top 10, and I would have to move Kanye West up in Nicki Minaj's place, and I have to move somebody in from my generation. Not a bad list. Jay-Z, I definitely would say is probably at the top, but my all-time favorite is, KS1. So you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. Why is that, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna get to Eddie, but even you look at the second 10. Okay, Kanye West at number 11. Andre 3000 gets the number 12 spot. Okay, Rakim's at number 13. No, Eric B. It's Rakim there at 13. LL Cool J, number 14. You mentioned J. Cole. He gets the 15 slot there. Scarface at number 16. 50 Cent at 17. Ice Cube, who I think is a top 10 myself, he's at number 18. Missy Elliott hits the number 19 spot. And at number 20, Big Daddy Kane. That's the second group of 10 there. Add some thoughts here. I know you have a lot of thoughts.
I do have a lot of thoughts, and I'm just going to limit it because they can't see me on Facebook. But it's interesting that TD mentioned KRS-One, and I don't have a list in front of me, but I believe he's number 25.
24.
Number 24.
KRS is number 24.
Yeah. KRS is one of my favorites, and I think he's easily top 5.
Yeah.
One of the top 5 for me. I don't know how you can say who's had cultural impact in hip-hop and not put him higher on this list, as impactful as he is. I mean, if you have an album called The Blueprint and you're not in the top 10, that negates
we
this
have to
whole
let
list.
BJ see this list too. You let BJ see this list here, this top 50 of all time. You got the second. There's the I think the top 35 there, BJ, and of course BJ the DJ playing this hip hop music over the years. I know you have some thoughts about, even if you look at the top 10, the second 20, and who's on that list. And
we do have one comment from Kayla.
What Kayla
She said, "Can we put some more women on the list?" And that was another issue I had.
That's
with
a
the
great
list.
point Kayla is making. Because Salt and Pepper didn't make the list, right?
They did not.
They don't make the list.
That's interesting.
Top 50.
And also, what my beef with the list was, you're saying that all these legendary female MCs are lower on the list, and a lot lower. If you go through that list, they're a lot lower than Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
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 Does MC Light make the list?
Yes, she did.
She did make.
What number is she?
47.
She's 47. She's 37 spots behind
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj. That's
I don't see Jimmy Spicer. I mean, I don't see Jimmy Spicer. Do we see Sugar Hill Gang?
Oh,
I don't think. See,
yes.
now one of these.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm understanding what they're saying, but you have to say that probably a lot of, you know, the MCs back in the day, they did great in Brooklyn and, you know, in New York, all that, right? But the people who brought it out to the masses are the people you have to honor, and that is the Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, think about it. They were first that
popularize it.
Everybody back in the day, you was listening to the WSL back in the day.
Everybody knew the lyrics.
You know what I'm saying? You had to pull up to the tree and then back up.
Right.
And then hit the signal.
hop,
Hop, and it was what? Was that Jim Gates?
Right,
Was
Jim
it
Gates.
Jockey Style?
Jockey Style,
You know,
Right. That's right. That's right.
So you
Jim
have to
Gates.
I'm looking at this list and I'm going, are they looking at the people revenue-wise?
That was one of the factors, right, Ed? That was a
Is it revenue?
That was one of the factors.
Okay, now you have to understand that back in the day, if the Sugar Hill Gang had to make that song at a time like now, do you think they would have made more money than Jay-Z? I mean, you have to think about that. Think about how much they were getting paid for a record. They were on a record label, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you got to look at this a lot differently than what you're looking at.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Because this looks like a revenue.
Yeah.
This a revenue list.
That's a great point. And if you were to compare that to, say, sports, you talk about somebody like Bill Russell, 11 championships, and compare him to LeBron or Mike Jordan. Nobody won, and the kind of money he would have made today playing, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So when I'm looking at this list, I'm going, they got to be talking about revenue.
So I'm thinking you're not agreeing with Nicki Minaj at 10, right?
At who?
That's it, Nicki Minaj.
How's she going to be over MC Light?
That's what I'm saying.
How's she going to be over Lil' Kim? You know what I mean?
Can I make one point about the revenue? Because I know we didn't even get into who's not on the list right now.
Right.
But if we go to St. Louis, one person that we might think should be on this list, Nelly was not on the list.
Nelly's not on the list.
How many artists can say they sold more records than Nelly?
Yeah, that's true.
When you think about revenue, you're true about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And how much cultural impact has he had? He had halftime at the Super Bowl. How many hip hop artists can say?
I don't see a lot of legends on this list, man. Where's Big Daddy Kane?
He made the list.
20.
20.
10 behind Nicki Minaj.
Where's Treacherous 3?
Not on there.
Where's UTFO?
Right there.
Y'all gotta get that list together.
Well, here's a list that Ed and myself came up of. Now these didn't make the list, but here's some that we had: Too Short, Spice One, The DOC, Nelly, MC Hammer, Slip Rick, Ed O.G., Tretch from Naughty by Nature, DJ Quick, Raekwon, Gizza, Corrupt, Daz Dillinger, Inspector Deck, Lil Jon, C Murder, MC Breed. Those are just a few that don't make the list. That we talked about, and I think Kay's point is well taken when you look at.
Maybe I need to get my eyes right, man. Oh, I see it. Curtis Blow. Okay.
Yeah, you saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I see Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow made it.
But he's way down.
He's
there.
way down.
Mel did make it.
Where's Curtis Blow?
Where's Grandmaster Flash?
38 below Nicki Minaj. I'm stuck on Nicki Minaj at 10.
I don't see.
Let me just throw one
The
out
Brat
there
didn't
that,
make it,
that
right?
really got me. It was Lil Wayne at number 7, but then Future is somewhere on that list.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the list of names that we said didn't make this list, and you say the body of work. Where does Future's body of work compare to the people that we name who aren't on the list?
Yeah, that it's.
Man, we'll be out here all night.
Right.
And I think when
where's
you
NWA? Where's Eazy-E?
I think Easy make it.
Easy did not make it. Dre made it.
Dre.
But what about NWA?
Ice Cube made it, and Dre made
But
it.
Eazy-E, come on! Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Right.
Come on!
He should at least had Nicki Minaj, but
And again, I guess that's the purpose of a list like this. It's got us talking about it. See, and they succeeded at that. I know we just about out of time here, fellas. This one we'll have to cater this one. And
well, I think as the hip hop legend in the city, you should put together your own list.
Yeah, well, I'll have to defer to
I'm
BJ.
going to defer to Kevin. I was more R&B. You was hip hop.
No, but it's some great rappers that are.
When did Lauryn Hill start rapping?
She had one. I like Lauryn Hill, but she only had one album.
But I'm just saying, when did she rap?
Yeah.
To be on this list.
I mean,
True.
you got some. You
sound like a deacon in the church now.
right. I mean, you're making some great points. Great points. We're gonna have to have part 2 of this. We're gonna have to. All right. All right. Want to thank everybody. TDL, thank you so much for being here on the show with us. BJ, as always, making it happen, putting us down, allowing us to come do this. Thank you so much. Ed, appreciate you with the production. A big shout out to Arist. And again, thanks to Kay and all the feedback and the Facebook fam as well. All right, this is St. Louis Gospel Hits. Hallelujah 1600.
What about Houdini?
We gotta get this together.
I did ask about Houdini. I did.
I'm gonna work on my list tonight.
Run DMC is on there, right? They're on there.
No,
Rev Run is on there.
Reverend Run. He's okay. So the other guys,
They're not on it. They're not. Well, again, so
like
the
say
list was only for single.
Single.
I can't even say
so
solo.
no Public Enemy. So Flavor Flav doesn't get any credit.
They put Chuck D on there.
Put Chuck D on there. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the person.
Yeah, they.
But my dude from Houdini.
Yeah.
That passed away. What's his name?
That long hat.
Yeah. With the hat on.
Yeah. Was Heavy D on the list?
He was not on the list. We
Heavy
need to write
D,
that
not
down.
on the list.
How can you not put the overweight lover on the list?
That's
right?
what I'm talking about.
How can
We
you
still
do that?
running on Facebook.
We
right?
on Facebook.
we
yeah.
still on
Facebook.
Facebook. We still on
We're
Facebook.
gonna keep this going then. We're on Facebook.
I think we should
I
probably
want to
break it
ask you a
down.
question. What happened to my dude? From Houdini? What's his name?
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm gonna
Yeah, he
find it
should
out,
be there.
You know what I mean?
It's
What
no
happened to him?
Dougie Fresh ain't on there, is
Dougie
he?
Fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot one that you mentioned. De La Soul.
De La Soul.
Where they at?
You know.
Not on the list.
You know what, OPP? Yeah, you know me.
Not on the list.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think if we can break them down by
How many hits did Naughty by
decades.
Nature have?
Oh
Oh,
man.
they had a few.
I mean, they you go to
I
any
mean, I
party.
can agree with people like Rakim. You know, Rakim, I see that. Method Man, I can see.
Does MC Hammer make the list?
But
He's
they
not
need
on
to
the
be.
list.
No,
but they
Hammer
need to
was
be.
not on the list.
But how do Eminem? How do Eminem? Right. I'm just asking the question. How do he beat out like Method Man?
KRS-One.
It hurts me too.
KRS-One,
Yeah.
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane. Now, are they looking at
Kool
lyricists?
Moe Dee didn't make it, right? Kool Moe
If you-
Dee.
Kool Moe Dee
Yeah,
did
Kool
not
Moe
make
Dee.
it.
Kool Moe Dee didn't
He
make it.
make it.
But you're looking at body of work. You're looking at people who Eminem have brought in, like 50. You're looking at his impact.
Yeah.
You know, his money.
Kool
So
Moe Dee
I mean, he's with hesitation because this is our music. So it's not easy for me just to kind of when you got so many people, so many of us black.
I
men.
think that Eminem is a great lyricist.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's
He deserves to be
now
on the
when
list.
you look at lyrics,
Yeah.
he's in the top 5.
He gotta be on
He's
there.
up there.
Okay.
I'm gonna give
Big
him
time.
no.
Right.
Wait
We'll
a
give him
minute.
5.
Put him in
He's top
10.
Top
I'll
10.
put him top 10.
Yes, sir.
But
He's
when
top
you go
10.
overall,
Yeah.
come on, man.
We'll give him Nicki Minaj spot.
I mean, there's a lot of
Give Nicki Minaj.
there's a what I look at, man. There's a lot of people who have paved the way in this hip hop game that are not on this list.
Yeah.
That's just like me to turn around and not acknowledge KevyKev.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Bernie Hayes, you talk about Doug Easton.
Right.
You talk about Lou Five Times.
Yep,
When
yep.
you know what I mean? It's
You come in like LeBron James saying you're the greatest.
yeah.
And
I can't do that.
right.
I can't say I'm the greatest.
Right.
Leave Will
You know what I
Chamberlain
mean?
off the list.
I kind of get a look on my face when people call me a legend.
Right.
I go,
Yeah.
Well,
right. Yeah.
okay, All right.
Don't say it too loud. We say.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. It took me some time to to kind of embrace that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you got
Yeah.
these guys
Yeah.
before me.
Right.
When you talk about Real JR,
Yeah.
you talk about Mike Love, you talk about Brian Anthony,
Oh, man,
Eric
yeah.
Michael,
Yes,
sir.
you're talking about Doc Jones, Kevin Woodson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're talking about Bavon Bowers.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Chaz Saunders.
Chad Saunders. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Legends.
JoJo.
JoJo. No,
Rick
wait a minute.
Roberts,
The
Rick
double
Roberts.
JoJo, Rick Roberts.
Yes,
Same
sir.
person.
Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Same person.
Well, you mentioned an interesting thing. It's just like with baseball. You hear all these greats, but everybody today should have a picture of Kurt Flood
Oh man.
Yeah.
on their wall.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for him opening the doors of arbitration and whatnot, you know,
Oh,
what I mean?
man.
That's legendary.
Yeah,
You know,
all
that's-
these NBA contracts, all these
Yeah.
contracts.
Yeah.
Man.
They wouldn't even exist,
They wouldn't exist.
if it wasn't for the people back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah.
I just think that
Facebook fam, give us some thoughts.
when you come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
yeah,
on.
and you know, and
I mean, but okay, let me ask this question. I'm going. Okay. Where is it? What's the dude's name?
While you coming up with that, can I just throw out one? Again, going back to cultural impact, and one that you brought up, Lil Jon.
yeah, look,
Now you could say he wasn't lyrical, obviously,
right.
but he ushered in a whole genre of music. When you think of
Yeah.
crunk, it's synonymous with Lil Jon. So
Yeah.
he had. I mean, most of the music today, you could say it's trap or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It was influenced by crunk music. So
yeah.
I think by that classification, he at least deserves consideration to be on.
I think so. I think Hammer with the dancing, you can't. He was a key part of that. You know, them lady. I mean, you know, with the dancing, them big pants, man.
But man, there's a lot of women that I don't see on this list.
yeah, no doubt.
I know y'all said this earlier, but I'm going over this list right now. How do Queen Latifah
Yeah,
What
is
number
at
she?
number 44?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
MC Light is below her.
And then they put Nicki Minaj before her.
How can you
34
put? I don't
spots.
see how you can put Nicki ahead of the Queen. How can you?
Ahead of
Well, if
everybody.
that's the case, the Brat should be on there.
That's what
you
I
know?
was going to see. You
Yeah.
don't have the
Yeah.
brat?
Wasn't, she wasn't on there?
I don't think
Nah.
she is.
She's not on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Brat.
Write her name down.
Man, this is a revenue list.
That's right.
This is a revenue list.
Yeah, and if
This is a revenue list.
and if you
man.
talk about the women, what about Yo-Yo?
Yo-Yo?
You know,
Ah,
hey, you know.
Yeah, you got it right.
What's her
there.
name? Eve? Is Eve on the list?
Oh man.
No,
See.
it's getting worse and worse, man.
It's getting worse and worse. I'm just sitting there going,
And if you're gonna put Nikki, now you got to start giving some votes to Foxy Brown, right?
Foxy Brown?
You're gonna have to, you know. And what about MC Trouble? You know, what about? I mean, you know.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, you know.
I mean,
and,
you know what I mean?
And the fact that salt and pepper on there, man, that's just
Yeah,
like
no,
crazy,
that's-
man. You can't. How you gonna leave salt and pepper off, man? Come on,
Because they were salt and pepper.
come on, man. I mean, if you talk about hits, they even went to jamming with Kurt Franklin, right?
Whoever put this list together could not have been somebody of our age.
I think they wanted to get a discussion going, just like we did.
They got one.
No. They wasn't our age.
Right.
They could not have been.
Nah.
I mean, I know no matter what list you put out there, you're going to have a discussion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to have a discussion.
Yeah, because
But when you talk about, when you look at this list, this is more revenue than it is the actual, people. Because I would love to see, all right? I would love to see this. And if they can do this, a versus battle on lyrics between Jay-Z and Rakim.
oh yeah.
Now,
Well,
do we think Jay-Z would be at that number one spot
Nah.
No.
up against Rakim?
I don't think he would think that.
And you know it's interesting you brought up verses because Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One had a verses, and I recommend anybody who hasn't seen it to look that one up. And I was more of a Big Daddy Kane fan than I was a KRS-One fan, but KRS, I would say KRS-One converted me on that verses because I hadn't really.
Okay, KRS-One is cold, man.
Yeah. I mean, and so like you can
he
kind of
cold.
see the Big Daddy Kane's music look more dated than KRS-One's. I mean, KRS-One, a lot of his stuff would stand up today if they put it out now. So that's what made me really look at him in a
Appreciate
different
that,
light.
yeah.
Like that's why I say he's one of my top 5. So I mean, a guy like Kendrick Lamar, again, no disrespect to him, but
Yeah,
how could you say he's higher than?
yeah.
A
Even
legend
his
like
body of
KRS-One.
work,
I
don't
mean,
know.
when the conversation comes up, you know, let's just look at this. Let's just face reality. When somebody says that LeBron James is the greatest player ever, the next word to come out of people's mouth is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? When people say Michael Jordan is the greatest player ever, the next words to come out of their mouth is Dr. J. You get what I'm saying?
And where's Kobe gonna fit
And
in?
then they go, well, Kobe. They'll say Kobe. They'll say this. I'm just talking to what my point is that they're talking about these new school players,
Right.
but they're bringing these guys from back here, Bill Russell, back into the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to say that about them without mentioning these guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you look at it, and then even LL, I mean, let's be honest. You look at that list for the new guys. How many guys gonna last 40 years in the game like LL?
Still look good. Still
You
can
know
go.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that longevity right
Who-
there.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, you
A
got-
40-year rap career?
You got to move them up just well.
You know?
And
least
I'll
move
throw
to
this in there
number
like
10.
a guy, Tupac's been dead almost 30 years now,
Yeah.
and they still talking about him like he's
Yeah.
here today.
Yeah.
So I mean, that to me, I mean, you could argue he's number one just based on the fact that
You
his music is still
you-
relevant.
Man, look at it,
You
man.
could make the argument.
The
You
greatest
could-
of all time for me is Tupac. I don't think anybody had the ability to do what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That cat was.
Yeah.
You put any Tupac song on, it's a hit.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah,
But-
but where do you put B.I.G.? Where you gonna put Biggie?
he's starting
Biggie,
East
know,
Coast,
Biggie-
West Coast. I don't know if I want to get.
Well, Biggie's
See?
good. Biggie's good.
Biggie's gotta be what?
Biggie's good. I'm gonna say this now. Biggie's good,
Right.
but he's not better than Tupac to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
But look at this list.
But Biggie would have to be in the top 5 though.
How you gonna have a top 5 and Biggie ain't in it? I
Yeah.
can't get with that.
Well, I can't get with it with Tupac not being
Yeah,
in there.
yeah, I can't get with that either.
Tupac at
I
4
can't-
though.
I can't.
But
I
he
can't
should
get-
be.
He-
Yeah.
You know, Tupac need to be way up there.
I just you know.
Biggie's oh, you're right, because Tupac is number 4. Biggie is he's got to be in the top.
I think it would have been high if he wasn't cut down so young. I
Oh,
think
my
that
goodness.
Tupac would have been easily.
But you know, but his impact,
His impact is still
his impact
stronger, yeah.
on the culture and the messages. So you got to look at the messages that's in his music.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he was bringing straight up messages in the music that made us look at things better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep your head up. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Oh,
Dear
yeah.
Mama. Dear Mama is still one of the greatest
Play.
songs ever that we play all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, Dear Mama, Brenda's got a baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was, man. Like I say, well, and now Common's on that list too, though, right?
Common is.
But he need to be where he is.
He need to be where he is. Where is he? Where
I-
is he?
37.
I feel the same way. I just don't think he has that body of work. I like
Yeah.
him because I like the conscious music and whatnot.
Right.
And then in reality, you're going to find people in that conscious music type of genre
Yeah.
will only go so far because you look at who's playing.
Who's
The
playing,
radio
right.
industry don't want to hear that.
No,
Music
they don't want to hear
industry don't
that.
wanna
But see, and I know you appreciate this, TD. These guys to me when they kind of went never received they do, but X-Clan.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh, I
Those
love that.
guys, man.
Okay, Kevin, here's what we're going to do. We'll have you come in next week, and you have your list.
I'm just
Because
saying,
Kevin
man.
was a hip-hop guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
See,
saying,
Kevin
man,
was
you
on,
didn't think about them, did you? X-Clan?
I did think about X-Clan, but they weren't really commercial. But again, back to the people that knew hip hop, they had a lot of respect.
There's a lot of people out there that listen to the underground hip hop that would look at this list and go, no.
Yeah.
Like Kevy. Kevy was the hip hop guy.
Ant
He was
Banks,
on the
is he
beat.
on the list?
Ant Banks,
See,
no.
Kevy was on the beat and I was on Magic.
Yeah.
So I was more R&B than Kevy.
It'd be good to get Cut, Tossin, Ted, Doc Love, the
Yeah.
brothers, you know.
You might need to get him in on your show.
Yeah, that'd be kind of good,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Do that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in on your show. Have him make him have a seat.
That would be good.
Make him have a seat.
That would
That's what we should do, man. We should go around the table with a lot of, and this is just an ideal, you know, to cap off your show and have that conversation since we on this 50 years of hip hop. Each week, bring in one of the DJs. You know, you bring in your Baby O's. You bring in, you know, and just let them spit their list out.
Yeah, that would.
And then have that conversation with the DJs.
Yeah.
That would be.
Because they play the music.
They would know, right?
They would know.
They would know.
Because I tell you, it's a lot of them that I think about people that we actually had in here that, I mean, you could make an argument for Arrested Development to make that list. You know, you could,
That was more, what's the name, though?
You don't think they would?
Yeah, they were more hard, kind of R&B-ish. You know,
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm challenging any list with Cardi B or Lil Yachty or anything. I'm challenging. I'm challenging any list.
Man, I tell you, man.
This was a revenue list.
Yeah.
Revenue. When I looked at it, I went, that's revenue. Man.
Yeah.
That's
Come on,
revenue, man.
Come on.
And my man,
I'm going to get back to my meeting.
Yeah. You got you worked up.
Yeah. I'm going to the meeting all fired up. What's going on with everybody?
Man.
Hey, man, but you should do that, man.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
gonna work
Bring
on
those
that.
cats in, man.
Bring the cats in. Yeah, I'm gonna work on
That Black Thought.
Work on that. That's
Yeah.
Well, I
I
guess
just really start getting up on Black Thought.
Oh yeah.
I like
Facebook,
Black
we're
Thought.
gonna cut them off here, and they're gonna let y'all go.
he-
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
he
No,
was
I'm
saying
just
something.
that's fine. You can go ahead and cut off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything else?
I mean, we got listeners. Kate still there?
I don't know. No, she had to go to class. She did have a couple comments.
Yeah.
Let me see. She asked about DMX. He was on the list.
DMX. Yeah.
What number was he?
DMX was. You see it, DMX.
Oh yeah, he was number 21.
21. Yeah.
11
Okay.
spots behind Nicki Minaj.
She said something about your boy Nelly. Hold on a sec. She said,
Gucci Mane is on this list.
yeah. Now you might want to close your ears, Kev.
Close the
She
ears.
said, people do not like Nelly though.
Who said that?
Your daughter said that.
I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
Well, that's
Nelly's
one
my man.
that we
Nelly's
can
my
debate.
man.
And see, I can understand why
Nelly's
people
my
would
man.
debate it.
Did we
'cause-
cut this Facebook off?
No, we're still on Facebook.
Oh, you can take us on off. then.
Okay, because I just want to say this, and we throw this in the discussion. But like there's, obviously, hip hop is about different tastes, right? So Nelly is one of those guys that he may not be your taste because they'll say, well, he was sing-songy. But to me, the way I look at it, again, the album sales and the cultural impact. Because look at what the kids are doing nowadays. If you listen, I don't listen to the radio to be honest, but if you listen to what's on the radio, a lot of these kids are doing what Nelly was doing
trying
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with auto-tune and all these effects to it. He just came out and
He just did it.
yeah. And
Just-
what they told him, you ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And now everybody's trying to be like
Trying to
that.
be like, yeah.
Nearly gets his
Oh,
high carry scene.
I just got one word to describe Nelly, and that's hits. He just made hits.
Yeah.
Just which to an athlete you say just win games.
Yeah,
Win
because
games.
I told
Hits.
I told a younger friend of mine that listens to hip hop. I said, man, because the debate, it was a debate about Tupac and Snoop, whether Snoop was the bigger artist than Tupac. Which I don't want to get into that, but I gave him a list of artists like during the early, I guess, the late '90s, early 2000s, and I said at one point Nelly was the man for like at least maybe a 3 or 5 year stretch, and people, like you say, people don't give him credit, but I mean,
Well,
he was
that's the scripture, the prophet in his own land, right?
Yeah.
That's it, you know. You know, he gets no honor
Yeah.
in his homeland. No honor.
There's a guy that's coming out, man. And he's got an album out now, and he pushed it. I'll let you listen to it. We'll send it to you. I'm biased. This is my son.
Oh yeah, all right, all
You
right.
can listen to music.
Yeah.
And just like, man, this flow. It's just,
What's his rap name?
Uncle Miles.
Uncle Miles.
And,
Okay,
there he is right here.
Uncle Miles.
He's on the
He's on Apple. You can get him on Apple.
uh-huh.
Uncle Miles.
Yeah, and that's his first. And when I say when I'm listening to his stuff, because I kind of like the lyrics and I like that cool.
Yeah,
back
I'm
flow,
gonna make sure I'm looking at it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want to shut us down, man?
Yeah. I'm gonna get. Okay, Uncle Miles. Okay.
The reintroduction. But
All right, Facebook fan, want to thank you for being with us. As always, we love y'all. Thank you so much for the support. We love y'all. Thanks. Keep listening, y'all. Tell a friend. You know, share us with everybody. All right, get us out there. All right, peace. Good night. God bless.
yeah, that was